Hello, my name is Lexi Liu. I'm from EduTop. Today I'm going to help you to answer some of your questions with NAPLAN writing. Let's start. I hope this video will help you and help you to prepare for NAPLAN writing. Okay, so the first frequently asked question I want to help you to answer is that, do I need to write in paragraphs? This is a very commonly asked question, and I'm going to answer you with a very simple yes. But I also will explain why do you need to write in paragraphs and how many paragraphs do you actually need in each kind of writing style. So the prerequisite for me to tell you how many paragraphs you need is that you need to know there are only two text types in NAPLAN writing, narrative or persuasive. For the last 3 years, there were two persuasive writing for year 5 and year 3, and one narrative writing, which will be 2019 last year for year 3 and 5. And also you need to know that those two different styles actually ask for different kinds of different way to structure your whole writing and different way to put the information and your words into paragraphs. Okay, so to answer that question, first we need to know that it is a very big yes. You need to write in paragraphs. Because in NAPLAN writing, the criteria actually has 10 different aspects. So one of them is called paragraphing. For narrative writing, paragraphing worth 2 marks. So you can be marked from 0 to 1 and 2. For persuasive writing, it worth 3 marks, so 0, 1, 2, or 3. So you can see that there is it is clearly shown that in NAPLAN, you are required to write your writing to provide your response in paragraphs. Okay, so for persuasive writing, you should write at least 4 to 5 paragraphs. Okay, for narrative, there should be more than 4 paragraphs. Okay, let me further explain why. We know that the structure of a writing piece is very, very important as well. So for persuasive writing, what are the structure, the paragraphs you will need? I think you have the answer for yourself. I will just quickly write this down as well. So for persuasive writing, you will need to at least have an introduction. And then you will need some paragraphs. So possibly 2 to 3 paragraphs to give your reasons. Okay, so I'll call that the body paragraphs. Body. And then you will need a conclusion. This is the structure that is required for persuasive writing. So in that case, you will need to write at least 4 to 3 paragraphs. If you have more time and you want to write more paragraphs, that's okay. But if you don't have that much time, write 4 to 3 paragraphs and you need to explain your reasons in details. The way to expand your paragraphs is that you need to have a topic sentence. And you need to explain, so you need to have explanation. Some people will call it a different name. And you might also want to include an example, but it's not a requirement to have an example. Well, you can also link back to your sentence, but that's not a requirement as well for NAPLAN writing because you only can write such limited words. So but for like a longer piece, you might want to also link back to your topic sentence. So at least you need to have a clear topic sentence and you need to explain why you believe so. Okay, so that would be the correct structure of a persuasive writing. And so you can see that you will need to write for at least 4 to 5 paragraphs. Okay, so also you need to make sure that each paragraph in your body part, each paragraph you need to focus on one main idea, okay? Only one main idea in each paragraph. And also you need to answer the question in your introduction and the conclusion paragraphs, okay? Make sure that happens, everyone. And for narrative, the structure will be you need to have an orientation, okay, and you need to have a complication, and then there will need to be a resolution. Okay, so if you are not familiar with these three terms, you really need to watch our video for narrative writing, so you learn what are those, because these are very important. The examiner will look into this, look into your writing and look for these three parts, and you need to have very clear structure in your narrative writing as well. So you can see the three parts. So some people may ask, can I write 3 paragraphs? You can't, because you need to have at least 2 paragraphs in your complication, don't you? And also with narrative, why did I say you need to write at least 4 paragraphs? It's because that with the narrative, it's possible that you might want to include a dialogue in your complication. If you do include dialogue in your complication, you might need to write more than 4 paragraphs, because we know that with the dialogue, the way to punctuate the dialogue is that you will start a new paragraph whenever you change the speaker. And that's very important too. Otherwise, you shouldn't use a dialogue if you're not sure how to maybe punctuate the dialogue. But if you have any questions, you feel free to ask us or ask your teacher. I'm sure your teacher will answer that too. Okay, so we can see that paragraphs are important, and also the structure of your writing is important as well, okay? If you have any questions, write down your questions in a comment or contact us immediately, okay? So you can see this is our telephone number, this is a QR code you can scan, and just contact us on WeChat as well. Okay, so the next question I want to answer is that how should I allocate the time for writing? So it is recommended for you to plan your time like this, to arrange your time like this, because you will be given 40 minutes to write a response, and you should spend 5 minutes on planning, 30 minutes on writing, and then 5 minutes on editing. This first 5 minutes is crucial. You will need to practice this so you can actually finish your planning in 5 minutes. If your planning habit is to write a very long planning and write many words, this will be wrong, because you won't have enough time to write too long. You should save that time to write your writing properly. So the first 5 minutes you should be spent on just writing down the keywords and the structure of your writing, okay? So the first 5 minutes needs practice. Also, you also need to practice writing your writing, of course. But the way to practice that is that you can just go back to the sample questions, or the questions from past papers, or to find some sample questions and practice that. You might also want to explain this to a teacher or discuss this with your peers, with other students, so you can have more ideas in your idea bank. So in the real test, if you need to do something, if you need to write something, you will have more ideas, okay? And the next question I will answer is, how many words should I write? Okay, so there's no clear instruction in a NAPLAN test, but based on our experience and also the way how much we studied the NAPLAN test, I will give you a recommendation of the words you need to reach for each year level. But it's just a recommendation. I need to make sure that you understand this is just a recommendation. If you find it too difficult to reach, it's okay. That just means that you need more practice, okay? But this is, I want to emphasize this is just a recommendation, okay? So I would recommend everyone to write 150 words if you're in year 3, and 250 words for year 5, 350 for year 7, and then 400 for year 9, Okay, they'll definitely need some practice, but you can reach this if you just keep on writing and also follow the right structure. Some people may say that why do we need to tell students how many words they should write? Because um, this is just for practicing. The way I see NAPLAN test, although some schools may say our NAPLAN test is not that important, don't worry about this. But I think this is very good opportunity for students to practice, for you to practice writing within like a limited time. So when you do that, you should know you should try to reach certain words because that shows your fluency, and also that gives you the purpose for your practice, a goal that you should reach. So that will make it clearer. Okay, but again, this is just a recommendation. Okay, you don't have to follow this, but the structure thing is not a recommendation; it's a requirement. So you need to tell the difference between the two. Okay. Can I write dialogues in a narrative? Yeah, you can. It is actually recommended if you think your dialogue can help creating the characters, the setting in your story, or making the story more entertaining. So it will be recommended if you are good at writing dialogue to include at least one dialogue into your writing to show the different personality of your characters. Okay. But again, you need to make sure that you follow the punctuation rule for writing a dialogue. Okay. Okay, so what is an average score of a NAPLAN test? Let me show you two tables. So the first table is that for narrative, the full mark. For narrative writing, the full mark is 47. If you haven't seen this rubric, there's actually a very clear and like a very detailed rubric, but it's a bit too difficult for students to understand everything there. It's for mainly for markers. But if you have questions about this, if you need more explanation, feel free to contact us or leave your comment in the comment area. So there you can see there are 10 criteria, and you need to try to, if you want to reach a higher mark, you just need to try to practice reaching a higher mark in each criterion. Okay, and the persuasive writing, the full mark is 48. So you first of all you need to understand there are 10 things you need to pay attention to when you write your narrative or your persuasive. And then you need to know how much should I try to reach if I want to be above average, just be just good at my writing. How much should I reach? Let me show you another table. So the national average score will be about 20. It's just a differentiate. It just might be different, from year to year, but generally it will be about 20. So 20 out of 47 or 20 out of 48. So you can see that for year three students, on average, you just get a lower score. So if you're still in year three, don't put too much pressure on yourself because it takes time for you to improve through the years. Okay. So the average score is 20, and if you can get 28 to 31, you will be the top students in Australia. Okay, so and year five will be 28, to get to top would be 37 to 40, and 23 if you're year seven, to be top in Australia you need to get over 40, and it's similar with year nine. So the average score would be 37 out of 48 or 47. And to get to top, you need to be in that range as well. Okay. You can see that for different year levels, they actually use the same standard. So you need to understand the standard if you want to improve, and you need to know on which aspect you can practice more and try to improve. Okay. So if you have any other questions, feel free to contact us on our mobile, or contact us on WeChat, or you can leave a comment. You can also come to our Box Hill campus and have a look and discuss with us in person. Okay. I hope this will help you to prepare your NAPLAN writing. My name is Lexi. Thank you for watching.